injuries. It's not normal to have these strains back to back to back like this. And I said this before, Caitlin Clark mobility is off, bro. I believe she might have came back too fast from the first. We all know the first one went down around the 25th of May. Then she came back and got re-injured around the 4th of July to the 5th, somewhere up in there of July. And then that brings us until now. Caitlin Clark pretty much kind.
Recent developments surrounding Caitlin Clark's injury situation have raised concerns about the Indiana Fever's medical management approach. Coach Stephanie White has revealed that Clark sought independent medical consultations, indicating potential complications with her ongoing recovery process. Following the Fever's recent loss to the New York Liberty, where they managed to stay competitive through 3 quarters before falling in the final period, attention has shifted to Clark's extended absence. The team held within 2 points entering the 4th quarter but ultimately couldn't secure victory. However, the primary concern remains Clark's health status and recovery timeline.
Kind of leaked out the bag to the team that she was kind of going to get a second opinion. To me, athlete like Caitlin Clark on her level, she should have been getting these second opinions. She should have been hearing from all these other doctors, man. But Stephanie White spoke to the media yesterday. She really didn't give a whole lot, but she did say that Caitlin Clark was in New York meeting with other doctors. Now, with all of that being said, what does the timetable look like to me for Caitlin Clark coming back? I keep telling y'all, around.
Medical experts and observers have expressed worry about Clark's injury pattern, noting that consecutive muscle strains of this nature are uncommon for professional athletes. The recurring nature of these setbacks suggests potential underlying issues that may not have been adequately addressed during initial treatment protocols. Clark's mobility appears compromised compared to her pre-injury performance levels. The initial injury occurred around May 25th, followed by her return to action and subsequent re-injury in early July. This timeline raises questions about whether the recovery period was sufficient before resuming competitive play.
Caitlin Clark coming back, I keep telling y'all, around the 17th to the 30th of August. I believe this thing, it could be stretched out. Now, if Caitlin Clark do decide to come back, what type of player will she be? We know she couldn't get into rhythm with the motion offense. Now it looked like the motion offense and the injury could be playing factor as well to why she's having so many downsides with shooting from 3. Caitlin Clark has not been the same pretty much since that injury. Now she did have the one.
Sources indicate Clark independently decided to pursue additional medical opinions beyond the team's standard care. For an athlete of Clark's caliber and market value, seeking multiple specialist consultations should be considered standard practice rather than an exception. Such thorough evaluation processes typically provide comprehensive assessment and treatment options. During yesterday's media session, White confirmed that Clark met with external medical professionals while in New York. The coach appeared reluctant to discuss specifics, offering minimal information about the consultations or potential timeline adjustments.
I've been the same pretty much since that injury. Now, she did have the one game when she came, she unloaded, but other than that, she has been looking like a mirror of her. I mean, not even a clips of herself. But with all that being said, let's head on over to YouTube. Check out what Stephanie White said yesterday about this injury update. Let's roll the footage.
Obviously, you mentioned Caitlin was meeting with doctors over these past couple of days. Is there any update on those meetings or a potential timeline for her?
I don't have an update. No, she saw another one this morning. I have not spoken with the trainers yet in between time from shoot around in a game, so.
White's demeanor suggested frustration with the ongoing uncertainty surrounding Clark's condition. Current projections estimate Clark's return somewhere between mid-August to late August, though this timeline could extend depending on specialist recommendations. The prolonged absence raises concerns about her conditioning and rhythm upon eventual return to competition. Performance analysis shows Clark struggled to find consistency within the team's motion offense system even before the injury complications. The combination of system adjustments and physical limitations may have contributed to her decreased three-point shooting effectiveness.
You guys know, you won't believe Caitlin Clark is communicating with them. Maybe she is, or maybe she could be getting results from her other doctors, and they could be kind of putting this thing off. But one thing I can tell you is that Stephanie White looked kind of aggravated with that question. She looked like she really didn't want to answer it. She really didn't want to talk about it. And this is not a good look, guys. I don't think they know what the hell is going on with Caitlin. They don't.
Since the initial injury, Clark has appeared to be operating at reduced capacity, with only occasional flashes of her previous performance level. When questioned about Clark's medical appointments, White confirmed the player had additional consultations scheduled, including one on the morning of the press conference. However, the coach stated she had not yet received updates from the training staff regarding results or recommendations from these meetings. White appeared visibly uncomfortable discussing Clark's medical situation, suggesting internal communication gaps or confidentiality restrictions. The coach's reluctance to provide detailed updates may indicate either privacy protocols or genuine uncertainty about Clark's status and treatment progress.
Hell is going on with Caitlin? They don't know at this point, but let's listen to what else she had to say.
She met with another today in New York, or did she travel with the team?
She did travel with the team, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just recapping All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
What was your perception of it? How much, did you enjoy yourself? And just overall thoughts.
I think I'm incredibly proud of our organization, of our city, just the
Regarding Clark's travel arrangements, White confirmed she accompanied the team to New York, allowing for convenient access to additional medical specialists in the area. This arrangement suggests the organization supports Clark's pursuit of comprehensive medical evaluation while maintaining team involvement. The All-Star Weekend discussion provided a brief respite from injury concerns. White praised the organization's event management and the weekend's impact on women's basketball visibility. She highlighted community activations, promotional efforts, and the collaborative success between Pacer Sports and Entertainment and the Fever organization.
of our organization, of our city, just the it was just a really great environment. It was the epicenter of women's basketball for the weekend. Seeing the activations in the community, seeing the signage everywhere. I mean, all of that was just top notch, and really special shout out to Pacer Sports and Entertainment and to our organization for continuing to lead the way in what it means to put on these massive events.
You've been in the league a minute.
White acknowledged the All-Star Game's evolution over multiple years, describing it as an opportunity for competitors to gather in a different environment. She emphasized the community aspect and camaraderie among league players, while diplomatically noting that fans generally prefer more competitive gameplay during such exhibitions. Fan reactions to the injury updates have been mixed, with some criticizing the lack of transparency, while others defend the organization's handling of medical privacy requirements. HIPAA regulations limit what teams can publicly disclose about player medical conditions, though general timelines and recovery stages can typically be shared without violating privacy laws. Some supporters argue that coaches rarely provide detailed injury information, particularly in fluid situations involving ongoing evaluation.
A long time, yeah.
And the All-Star Game has progressed year over year. Can you speak to its progression and how it's become a tentpole event, not just in the W, but in the sports world at large?
Yeah, I think it's a fun time to get together, right? To see people that are competitors, adversaries sometimes in some ways, and just a different environment to remind us that we're all in this together, to bring the best players in the league together, to showcase talent, to
Privacy protection and competitive advantages often motivate vague public statements about player health status. Critics suggest the organization should have implemented different offensive schemes or protective measures to prevent recurring injuries. Comparisons to Clark's college career, where similar injury patterns were not observed, raise questions about professional-level physical demands and preparation methods. The situation highlights broader concerns about injury management in professional women's basketball, proper recovery protocols, independent medical consultation access, and player advocacy within team medical decisions represent crucial elements of athlete health and career longevity.
And Jason Whitlock and Colin Cowherd, they had all weekend to prep for what they were going to say today. Let's just first say thank you, ESPN, for letting Whitlock do his own thing. Thank you, ESPN, for letting Colin Cowherd do his own thing, because if these two people were still at ESPN, they would not be able to speak as freely as they do. So we have the Pay Us What You Owe Us t-shirts, and then we have the Kelsey Plum
Current circumstances place significant pressure on the Fever's front office and coaching staff to demonstrate improved player protection and medical management. The organization's response to this situation may influence future player relationships and organizational reputation regarding athlete care and support systems. The WNBA All-Star Weekend concluded amid significant controversy, overshadowing any basketball-related achievements. Despite notable performances including Sabrina Ionescu's three-point competition showcase and her matchup against Stephen Curry, media attention focused entirely on off-court drama rather than athletic accomplishments. The Skills Challenge, New York Liberty's success, and Team Kier's victory over Team Clark in the All-Star Game received minimal coverage.
Kelsey Plum, Team Clark wasn't invited to this meeting, or but we were invited late, and this, that, and the third, whatever. Colin Cowherd goes after Kelsey Plum, while Jason Whitlock goes after pay us what you owe us. And I guess we will start with what Jason Whitlock says, because he says a lot of what I say, especially when it comes to the respect that you need to show the fans, the people that support the product, the people that pay their.
Sports commentators Jason Whitlock and Colin Cowherd delivered sharp criticism regarding player conduct during the weekend festivities. Their ability to speak candidly stems from working outside ESPN's corporate structure, allowing unrestricted commentary on sensitive league issues. The central controversy involved players wearing "Pay Us What You Owe Us" t-shirts during pregame warm-ups, followed by what critics described as substandard game performance. This combination drew harsh responses from media personalities who viewed the actions as contradictory and disrespectful to fans. Whitlock expressed particular frustration with the sequence of events.
The respect that you need to show the fans, the people that support the product, the people that pay their money, spend their time to come to these games, to show out and show love. In Indianapolis, welcoming all these players that have done nothing but disrespect them, welcoming them all with open arms. Hey, it's all water under the bridge. It's all water under the bridge. Welcome to our home. Let me show you my city. Some nice Indiana hospitality. Let's take a look and hear what Jason Whitlock had to say.
The WNBA players in their
Players demanded increased compensation while simultaneously delivering what he characterized as historically poor All-Star Game effort. The performance quality became so concerning that spectators began leaving during halftime, with approximately 25% of the arena emptying by the fourth quarter. The irony struck observers as particularly problematic athletes requesting higher pay while providing minimal entertainment value during their showcase event. Indianapolis fans, representing the league's most passionate supporter base, received what critics deemed inadequate effort despite their unwavering support throughout the weekend. The timing proved especially unfortunate given Indianapolis's reputation for exceptional hospitality toward visiting players.
Or what Jason Whitlock had to say.
the WNBA players in their pregame warm-up came out in these t-shirts, "Pay us what you owe us." And then immediately pivoted to playing the worst All-Star game in the history of professional All-Star games.
Damn.
They took the court in t-shirts. "Pay us what you owe us. We're underpaid. This league has lost millions of dollars, but
Local fans welcomed athletes who had previously shown little appreciation for their support, demonstrating remarkable grace and enthusiasm. This generous reception made the perceived lack of reciprocal effort more disappointing. Whitlock emphasized the disconnect between salary demands and performance delivery. Players sought compensation increases while the league continues operating at financial losses. The specific revenue split demands remain undisclosed, though speculation suggests players want approximately 50% of league revenue compared to current lower percentages.
we're underpaid. This league has lost millions of dollars, but we're underpaid. Pay us what you owe us. And then they served up a doo-doo sandwich to sports fans.
Damn.
Not
Right? A game where they can showcase their talents and say, no, we really deserve this money. We really are that talented. They did the complete opposite. They spit in the people's face and put on an absolute abysmal, embarrassing performance.
The reluctance to publicize exact negotiation figures suggests awareness that public reaction might prove unfavorable. Reasonable increases from 9% to 15% or 20% would likely receive sympathetic coverage, while dramatic jumps to 50% appear less defensible given current league economics. Cowherd focused his criticism on comments made by Kelsey Plum regarding team communication and meeting attendance. His analysis emphasized how Caitlin Clark's arrival transformed league dynamics, comparing the situation to upgrading from budget airlines to private jets or moving from roadside motels to luxury hotels. The metaphorical comparisons highlighted the dramatic improvement in league conditions following Clark's entrance.
People's face and put on an absolute abysmal, embarrassing performance that people were leaving after halftime. Third quarter, people started walking out. By the time we got to the fourth quarter, already 25% of the building evacuated as if somebody pulled the fire alarm.
Not only did they serve up a doo-doo sandwich where people were basically just walking up and down the court, no defense being played, players jacking up three and these imaginary four-pointers. And I'm like, how are they doing?
Television viewership, attendance figures, and overall media attention increased substantially, creating unprecedented opportunities for all players. Cowherd argued that criticizing the person responsible for these improvements represented poor judgment and ingratitude. The communication controversy centered on claims about meeting exclusions and late invitations. Plum suggested Team Clark players weren't properly included in t-shirt planning discussions, while other reports indicated different circumstances. ESPN's Ramona Shelburne reported that planning occurred over several days, with final decisions made during Saturday morning breakfast meetings that few Team Clark players attended due to early timing.
And I'm like, how are they doing this? Why are they doing this? It's incredible. How can you be this tone deaf, this delusional, that you're going to take the court, pay us what you owe us, and then take 17, 18,000 fans inside Gainbridge Arena in Indianapolis, where your most passionate fan base of the WNBA is.
Conflicting accounts emerged regarding attendance and participation in decision-making processes. While Plum claimed exclusion from discussions, sources indicated that Arik Ogunbowale, Brianna Stewart, and Aja Wilson visited Team Clark's preparation area to ensure universal participation and agreement. The apparent contradiction between having pre-made shirts available and claims of last-minute decisions raised questions about narrative accuracy. Multiple sources suggested planning occurred well in advance, contradicting suggestions of spontaneous organization or exclusionary practices. The broader implications concern league negotiations and owner perspectives on player demands.
Where your most passionate fan base of the WNBA is, the fan base that you and many of these black players have described as racist, come out in droves, support you the entire weekend. Everybody's on the record. This is the best WNBA All-Star weekend of all time. And then you serve them a doo-doo sandwich.
Damn.
You don't even put 10% effort out on the court.
Pay us what you owe us and then proceed to give.
Public displays of dissatisfaction combined with perceived effort reductions during showcase events may influence management attitudes during collective bargaining discussions. Owners might view such actions as demonstrating lack of professionalism and commitment to league growth. Unity among players could strengthen negotiating positions, while public divisions and criticism of marquee attractions like Clark might weaken collective bargaining power. Presenting a unified front supporting all contributors, particularly those driving increased revenue and attention, would likely improve negotiation dynamics.